What is going on, guys? Today, we're going to talk the Professional Bowlers Association, the PBA, professional bowling, and how we can improve their telecasts. So, for anyone newish, the PBA has tournaments every week during their season. At the end of the week, usually on Saturdays or Sundays, there is a giant telecast that happens on either Fox or Fox Sports 1. So you are able to watch the step ladder, the top 5 bowlers for that tournament compete head to head. And PBA has done some amazing things to improve their telecast. Since they've jumped over to Fox, they've added rev rates and speed for every bowler. They've added a full graphic showing where the bowlers are lining up, trying to hit down lane, the line they're hitting with their bowling ball. They've added so many really cool things and overlay on the lane of the actual pattern. But there are some improvements that I would love to see to really improve the reach of the professional bowling tour. Right now, it is very tough for a non-bowler to step into one of those tournaments, into one of those telecasts, just turning on bowling and watching and understanding what's going on because there's so many details that are being thrown around all over the place. And it's very hard to get a grasp of a lot of those. The commentators do a fantastic job of showcasing a lot of them. But the one that they do not showcase in the slightest are the bowling balls. Right now on the telecast, you will have Randy Peterson usually, or Dave Lamont or whoever's on, mention, oh, Tim Foy is switching to a track stealth mode. And that's usually as far as it goes. And then on the screen, once per telecast, you'll usually have their arsenal with a number based on hook. So you'll have stealth mode at an 8.0 hook, and then you'll have a track criterion at 10.0 hook, things like that, which doesn't tell much. It is very, very hard to showcase what a bowling ball does based on just one raw number. So how do you improve the PBA telecast and how do you really showcase the specialty of bowling? You put more emphasis on the bowling balls themselves. So let's talk sports in general sports. Every sport has their thing that they are better at. Basketball is so high paced, so intense. Baseball is very, very deliberate, very intense, a little slower. You have all of these different specialties that every sport has. What is bowling's specialty? It's the equipment. It is the most unique sport when it comes to equipment. So let's go through some of the sports I mentioned. Basketball, what is some of the equipment you have? You have basketball shoes, otherwise, sleeves, things like that. Basketball shoes, they are different between Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, but you're keeping the same pair of shoes generally for the season, or if you're in professional, you're just getting a new pair of shoes every game or two. Baseball, you have different cleats from different companies. Most are nearly identical. More expensive means they're a little better, nearly identical. Baseball bats, wood bats, very much the same throughout most companies. Now, aluminum bats, a little bit different, especially if you're getting into more niche sports like slow pitch softball, where the bat truly matters. The bats are a little bit different, but you're not switching in a game that often between different bats to do different things. You are sometimes, but not all that often. Golf. You have the golf ball itself. Most golf balls are fairly similar, and you're usually not switching that often what golf ball you're using. Otherwise, the clubs, you can have different companies. However, you're not switching from a Callaway driver to a Top Flight driver mid tournament or mid round of golf. Now, bowling is so unique in that way, where we are in turn switching drivers like golf would do. So we are switching from a Storm Ion Max to a Rotogrip RST Hyperdrive. Both of those bowling balls do strong things. However, they do them differently. And you are constantly switching equipment. You are swapping the equipment you're using, which is so unique. I couldn't think of almost any other sports that are actually switching their equipment mid-tournament constantly. And they're doing it all the time. It is a norm. It is always happening. So I think what bowling needs to do and the PBA needs to do is really focus on that niche, focus on that unique characteristic of the game of bowling. It is the reason that I really do love this sport is there are so many unique things with the bowling balls. They all do different things, different colors, different shapes. They do all different things on the lanes. It is absolutely crazy. And there are so many of them to be able to understand. And it's so scientific in a lot of ways. And a lot of other non-bowlers would probably really enjoy that. But the average consensus from non-bowlers is, why do you need more than one bowling ball? They all do the same thing. They're all just different colors. Well, the PBA hasn't done a very good job at showing that that is not true. They have done a good job at showing that the oil pattern and the way somebody's throwing really change what the pattern is and what happens, what the results are. They don't talk about the bowling balls that much. They don't showcase them. Now, that is the problem that I am seeing right now in PBA. I think they've done some amazing things, but I think we need to focus on the part that makes the sport unique, and that is the bowling balls. Now, this does give a little more emphasis to the bowling ball companies. I think that's a really big positive. Being able to showcase, do a little, it's almost a mini advertisement. It accidentally is a mini advertisement when showing people the bowling balls for Storm, for Motive, for Brunswick, for Hammer, whoever it may be, because you're showing, hey, here is the new Hammerhead that Dom Barrett is throwing, and this ball lines up about right here, and then you can show a few stats on the screen of it as they're lining up so that you can fill that time. That would be really, really cool for a bowler to know. So you see, oh, I actually saw that ball coming out, the Hammerhead. It looks pretty cool. Oh, and look at that. It's actually weaker than I keep saying track criterion, but let's go track criterion again. So you can see where the bowling balls line up on the telecast. So average bowlers who want to buy a new bowling ball can see, oh, that's what that ball does. So they're not just seeing, oh, Dom Barrett's throwing a Hammerhead here. Maybe I should go buy that. Instead, you can see why they're actually throwing it. And for new people jumping in, they can see, oh, those bowling balls do different things. That's kind of cool. That's the Hammerhead does something different than that other ball he was throwing, the purple hammer ball. That's crazy. So that is the problem right now. That is the problem with PBA, in my opinion. That is one of the issues that could really boost viewership, boost support, and really help educate bowlers. Because right now it is very hard to educate bowlers. There's a lot of opinions that are completely false and things that people think are true, that urethane is good on dry lanes, that the strongest bowling balls have the most down lane reaction, completely false. There's a lot of those claims that are just not true from people who bowl a lot. So how do you fix those? You focus on the bowling balls a little more in the telecast. I think it'd be very, very cool. Now, how do you make a solution for this? What I would think is right now, unfortunately, we do not have anybody on a PBA telecast that knows every bowling ball in existence. Randy Peterson knows a lot of the Storm stuff. I think he's still on Storm staff. Otherwise, he knows the names of some of the other balls, or he gets a little bit of information from ball reps, but otherwise he doesn't say much. Now, there aren't many people out there who know every bowling ball from every company and every manufacturer. And this is not me trying to get on a PBA telecast, but PBA, I mean, if you want to, hit me up. But I think it would be really cool to have an on-lane person being able to showcase, hey, we're here with Andrew Anderson's arsenal. Here, we're seeing him on the rack right now having a Rotogrip RST Hyperdrive, and then he also has a 900 Global Sublime Focus. Now, these are the two bowling balls. The RST is going to be hooking earlier. It's going to be smoother than that Sublime Focus. He's starting with this Hyperdrive, but then if the lanes get a little bit weird, you're going to see him switch to the Sublime Focus to kick out those corner pins. Something super basic, super quick, showing off what the bowling balls do. The viewers learn a little bit. The viewers can actually see the bowling balls being thrown, and they can hear the actual name of it. One of the hardest thing with bowling balls is if you're an average bowler and you see, oh, there's a green and blue ball going down lane. I don't know what that thing is. Maybe I'll see it in league or I'll see it in my pro shop, but some pro shops don't have that information. Some pro shops just have Brunswick equipment, just have Motive equipment, things like that. So maybe you'll never see that bowling ball. This is a way that you can promote the bowling ball, you can kind of showcase what different bowling balls do, and you can give a little segment that actually appeases all of the bowling ball manufacturers. The issue that Radical Bowling had, according to Phil on one of his podcasts, whatever he does, was that the PBA does not do a good enough job at actually investing in the ball companies, where like if Radical gives all this money to be a PBA sponsor or PBA partner, the PBA doesn't do much for Radical. They don't generate that many ball sales. You need a staffer to actually get on the telecast to actually be able to promote the bowling balls themselves. However, this fixes that problem where you can have any Brunswick staffer on the telecast. They can have a Radical ball that they're using, and you can showcase, here's the new Radical Torpedo. This is what the Torpedo does. It hasn't released yet, but it releases very, very soon, and this is what we're going to see from it. That would be very, very cool, in my opinion, to help everybody and anybody along. Very short segments, so you don't have just a very basic graph that says, this thing has a hook rating of 10. This has a hook rating of 4, because that's not that accurate. There's way more that goes into it. Then you can showcase the bowling balls used during the week. You can go so deep into what really makes bowling so unique and so special. And it's also the reason that we focus on bowling balls on this channel. It is the most unique part of the game. In my opinion, the coolest part of the game that is so different than any other sport on the planet right now. So that was a one take Zach rant on how we can improve the PBA and really help grow the sport, help educate bowlers, and bring those non bowlers into a bowling world to see, bowling is actually really cool and has these unique things and isn't just throwing one ball at the same spot 25 times in 2 games and seeing what happens. There's actually much more into it because oil patterns are cool and rev rate and speed are cool, but the bowling balls are really what make bowling special. So I would love to start a conversation with this. I would love for you guys to comment down below what you think of this and if this could actually improve PBA bowling and actually grow the sport, because that is the end goal, is growing the sport. Otherwise, please share this with others. I'd really like to hear what others say on how to improve PBA telecasts. I think the PBA telecasts are phenomenal, for the record. I really do love them. I think they've done amazing things, but I'm a perfectionist. I want to see things to be as good as humanly possible, and I think this is a way that we can help promote the sport and really showcase the cool things and the cool bowling ball manufacturers that are out there. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We'll have more Zach rants coming very soon in the near future. I can talk about everything for way too long. So expect more videos just like this one. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching.